Hello, 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 my stitchy friends, and welcome to Black Ribbon Studio. My name is Denise, and this is Flosstube number 16, and it is all about cross stitch. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your support. And there are an awful lot of you out there. Thank you so much for joining me. I could not be happier. Now today I have 3 finishes, which, okay, it's really one, but it's a set, so we're gonna call them 3. And I only have 1 whip, but I have some haul, guys. I have some haul. And I hope that I don't look too weird today, but guys, I had a tooth pulled on Monday, so that was a whole experience in itself, and still a little sore, but you know, around here we just keep going. We just keep going. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, I want to thank you guys also for all of your comments. Your comments mean the world to me. I feel like I'm really getting to know each and every one of you, and I absolutely love it. You know, I've always wanted to have a whole bunch of little stitchy friends to talk to, so this is awesome. And there were so many comments about my choice of lip color. Really, guys? That is so cute. But one day when I just really don't have much else to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story behind my choice of lip color. And because, you know, there's a story. And I will share that with you at some point. Matter of fact, why don't you remind me to do that? And I will do it. So, today we're going to start, though, with some questions and comments. And I do want you to let me know in the comments below whether you enjoy this segment or not, so I can decide whether I'm going to keep this segment in. But I personally think it's a joy, so you let me know what you think. So we all had a good laugh about me sticking to 5 whips. I'm telling you, I'm going to try. It was really funny, I know, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to let you know how it's working. I don't know. Right now, it's still 5. So, let's go with that. Now, Barbara asked, does 2/2 mean 2 strands together? So, Barbara and anyone else who's not familiar, 2/2 does mean that you're using 2 strands of floss. And it means that you are stitching over 2 holes. So you're skipping a hole in the fabric in order to make your stitch, but you're using 2 strands of floss. Now, some people, and depending on your choice of fabric, the fabric count, and the pattern, sometimes you can use 1 strand of floss over 2, or 1/1, and some patterns call for 3/1. So it really all depends. But when I say that going forward, now you'll know what it is I'm talking about. So thank you for that. And guys, we had a lot of comments about Mr. Ribbon's fishing rods right here. And so one in particular that I wanted to address comes from Tara. Tara says, dinner at your house must be really good when all those poles in the corner get used. I love fresh fish. I used to live on the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you, Tara. But guys, it is now confession time. Mr. Ribbon does not eat fish. I do not clean fish. However, once upon a time, we lived in a great neighborhood, and one of our neighbors was one of my favorite people in the entire world because Mr. Ribbon was able to go fishing, and often they went together. They would go fishing, and Mr. Ribbon would catch however many fish, and my neighbor would actually take the fish home with him. He would clean it, and then as a bonus, he would actually cook it for me. I was in heaven. That was absolutely fabulous, and I miss him dearly. I miss him dearly. The next comment comes from Julia, who says, I'm so glad to hear you are a DMC girl. I am too. Well, thank you, Julia. DMC is the only floss that I've ever used. I am really curious about the fancy flosses, but I have not yet ventured down that road. I hope to one day, because I do want to have that experience. But for now, it's DMC all the way. The next comment comes from Kimberly, who says, Pandemic is truly beautiful. Have fun. I've started this as well. Might I suggest a darker pink for the birds and critters, or even white or black? Something to differentiate them from the blocks of color you've already chosen. So I'm going to show you the sampler again, the Pandemic sampler. Again, here it is. And I'm not sure if you can pick it out because it is kind of small on camera, but there are several birds and critters throughout the sampler. And this is pretty common with long dog samplers. And so, Kimberly, I'm definitely taking your advice. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Now, Cheryl, ATX Stitcher, who has a channel here on YouTube, also gave me a good suggestion for this Pandemic sampler. She said, for variegation with the pink, maybe blend threads. Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. What a great suggestion. I'm definitely going to keep that in mind when I do get started on that chart. That was a great suggestion. Now, Cassandra commented, which I just got a kick out of. She says, remember when we used to do one project at a time? Ha ha ha. I remember it well, Cassandra. I remember it well. I remember purchasing a cross-stitch leaflet and actually sitting and stitching one chart at a time from beginning to end. I remember that. The Desert Stitcher AZ, who also has a floss tube here on YouTube, let me know that on Instagram we are doing hashtag LD Pandemic Sal. So that would be the Long Dog Pandemic Stitch Along. And I want to thank you for that. I definitely have gone and followed that hashtag. So thank you for that. And then Colette said, thank you for not being too long. Well, you're welcome, Colette. I can promise that I will always be as frugal, you know, with my time, because sometimes I just feel really, really rambly, like today, for example. So, but I did want to thank you for that acknowledgement. And then last but not least, Lisa asked, hi Denise, can you tell me how many pages is better to see you with? Please let me know. Thank you. And I did respond to Lisa in the comments. However, I'm not happy with, I don't think I answered her in the best way. So Lisa, let me show you, in case you have not yet purchased this chart. This is the marked chart that Cross Stitch Studio provides with the chart. And it shows the actual page demarcations, if you can see that. And so in total, there are 110 pages. So I hope that clears that up for you, Lisa. I hope that it makes it clear for anyone else who's interested in purchasing this chart. And I'm going to have some more information about that for you also in a minute. So thank you guys again for your questions and comments. It makes my day every single time I get a comment from one of you guys. So what are we doing next? I'm now going to show you my finished objects, which, let me tell you, they are FFO'd. For those of you who don't know what that is fully finished objects. Guys, I did it. Guys, I dove in, and I got it done. I'm going to start with the Christmas tree, because that's the last one I was working on when I spoke to you guys last. It's all done, and it is fully finished. And how I finished them was with some sticky felt on the back. Can you see that? That is just so absolutely cute. And I put a little ribbon. I sandwiched the ribbon in between. And so here is the entire set. I love it. The only thing I would have done differently is that I chose not to add beads to these. But in hindsight, as I look at them after they're done, I think they kind of really would have looked nice with the beads. The beads would have given them some bling, some pop. I think the issue for me with that was the fact that they're on perforated plastic. I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable with adding beads to that. But I'm going to keep that in mind for the next time. And so that's done, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And so that means that I get to move on to some more Christmas ornaments now that those are done, because those of you who have been following me know that I am purposefully stitching Christmas all year long. And so, of course, that is going to entail the making of a lot of ornaments. And it just so happens that this is Jolly July, which I can't say that I'm really participating in Jolly July. It just so happens that that's what I stitch all year round. So I want to give you a little bit of a preview of what is coming up with those ornaments. Let me first show you that the next ornaments I'm going to make are going to come from the Cross Stitch Christmas Timeless Treasures, which is from, I think this is 2000. Let me put up my glasses, I can't see it. I tell you guys, why do I try? I don't even know why I try. Okay. This is from 2000. Okay, so I was pretty much on the mark. And so that's a Cross Stitch Christmas Timeless Treasures. And this is where I'm going to be. You guys can't believe the problems I'm having recording this video today, but we are gonna get through it one way or another. So I was talking about the next set of ornaments that I'm gonna be making, coming from this book, A Cross Stitch Christmas, from the year 2000, and it's called Timeless Treasures. And this is just a preview. And these are the flosses that I've gathered that I'm going to be using on those ornaments. So I just wanted to give you a sneak peek to let you know what it is that I'm going to be tackling next. It's really exciting, so I can't wait to show that to you guys. Now, moving on to my next whip, I did a little bit of work on This House is a Mess. And when I worked on it, I think it was July 4th. And that's when my little tooth started to bother me. So, you know, there was no dentist to be found or even thought about. So, you know, trying to keep my mind off my pain. What do I want to do? I just pick up my stitching. And so, I will insert a picture of where I was last time. And I was able to get some of this next flower done. I do believe I had done the stem and leaves the last time, but I was able to work on some of that flower. So it's not an awful lot of progress, guys, but I was able to get something done, and it helped me to keep my mind off of my pain, which of course is a very good perk of stitching. So I have a segment that I do from time to time called Discoveries, and I honestly don't always discover something new, but I wanted to share these discoveries with you guys this week. I discovered that I cannot stitch to Prince. I had a Prince song going through my head that day that I was stitching, and I said, oh good, you know, I'll just put on some Prince music and sit down and do some stitching. Well, I wound up dancing the whole time, so I now know stitching to Prince is out of the question. That's not gonna work. I also watched a video about stitching in hand. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's where you are doing the cross stitch, but you're not using a hoop or a frame or a Q-snap or anything. You simply roll the fabric, hold it in one hand, and stitch with the other. And so, of course, I'm interested in this, mainly because I am about to tackle some pretty large projects. And I'm just wondering, you know, how I can make the whole process a little more comfortable and a little easier on myself. So I have to say that I think I need to watch a few more videos and get in some practice to see if stitching in hand is something that I even want to get into. So I'll keep you updated about that. I was in a Facebook group, and someone actually had the audacity to suggest, how about stitching a long dog sampler in the negative? My mind was blown. Like, I never even considered such a thing. But can you imagine? Now I want to do it so badly. I am digging myself in a hole, guys. I'm digging a hole. I'm digging a hole. But I want to stitch. I want to at least try. What I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to just take a small section of one of the samplers and stitch it in negative and see how that works out. So that's my plan for now. But I just thought that was just the greatest idea ever. And then I wanted to let you know that I actually stitched when I was working on the Christmas tree. I actually stitched from right to left. Now, all the years that I have been stitching, I can't imagine that I never did this before. But if I have, it's been a really, really long time. And so I just thought it was interesting that it's not something that immediately comes to mind when I'm stitching, but I think I'll be doing a little bit more of that, because it saves floss, it saves time, and it saves the back of your project. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And now we're gonna move into haul. The first thing I want to show you is something that I had last time and I totally forgot to share it with you guys. And it is the 2004 edition of A Cross Stitch Christmas called A Christmas to Remember. And those of you who have been with me for a while know that I am on a quest to collect all 25 of these books in the series. And that's only if I'm counting right. There may be 26 now because the 2020 issue just came out. So I've been looking online to see if I could find it. I'm not sure why I was not included in the mailing that Craftways does send out earlier in the year to let you know that it's available. And I don't know, I'm just not on that list anymore, I guess. But now I've been searching the internet because, you know, I have nothing else to do, right? And so I've been looking for the 2020, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get 2019 and 2020 at the same time, because I do not yet have 2019. But so far I have not been able to find them, so they're not readily available yet, but I am on the lookout for them. But I wanted to share with you that I was able to get the 2004 edition of A Cross Stitch Christmas. And I did mark a page in here because very often I know that I show these books to you guys and I don't really show you what's inside. But I did want to show you this particular design, which I think is awesomely beautiful. And it simply says rejoice, and in this they have it framed very nicely. And so I like that, and that's something that I may consider stitching out of this book. Now the next haul that I have is has a story. Now I am pretty sure that, well, okay, let's start with this. My favorite flowers are peonies. And so, again, during some downtime, you know, I have been looking just a little bit on the internet to see if I could find a nice chart that I could stitch of peonies. Because I love peonies, guys. Pink peonies, most especially. But I couldn't find anything very readily, and who needs to buy another chart, right? So I left that alone. And then I saw, on a totally different day, doing something totally different, I saw this chart, and it blew my mind. So the first thing I said was, I asked my husband, Mr. Ribbon, I said, do you know what my favorite flower is? And he said, yeah, it's peonies. So I said, well, I want you to look at this, because this is me, and I need to have this. But, you know, I'm going back and forth saying, I love it, I need to have it, but goodness knows I don't need to buy another chart. Not now. I have too much going on. You guys know I'm about to lose my mind, and I'm only sticking to 5 whips. So I showed it to him, and I'm going to show it to you now. Here it is, guys. It's called African Woman with Peonies number 2. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Mr. Ribbon took one look at this and he said, well, how much is the chart? So I went quickly and I looked it up online to see how much it was, and I told him, and he handed me his credit card and he said, just get everything you need. Well, my heart is pounding. My heart is pounding because I actually have it in my hands. I got all of the floss that is called for. All DMCs, of course. Got all the floss that is called for. And the 14 count Ada that is called for. And I wanted to let you guys know that I ordered this from one of my very favorite suppliers, which is Everything Cross Stitch. The customer service is impeccable. I'm telling you guys, I ordered this chart and accessories. I didn't have to wait long. There are, let's see, there are 69 DMC colors. Only full cross stitches are used in this pattern. And on 14 count Ada, which is what I'm going to be using, it's going to be 18 inches wide by 14 inches high. Not too massive, right? And I just absolutely love it. They sent everything immediately, and I have to say, guys, out of the 69 colors of floss, there were only 2 in the whole batch that they did not have. So I will continue to order my cross stitch supplies from Everything Cross Stitch. Of course, they are not sponsoring this video. This is just my own opinion. But if you guys need things, you really should check them out. I also, the floss that I showed you earlier that I'm going to be using for my ornaments, I also got that from Everything Cross Stitch. It just comes like right away. And I'm loving that. So, I also, for my next bit of haul, I also placed an order with a company called Hobby House Needleworks. And how I came to know about them, I thought was very interesting, because there is a Facebook group for the Long Dog pandemic chart. And so we're all a Twitter in that group. And so this company, gee, I wish I had written his name down, because the wife is the owner of the company, but the husband is the one who got on Facebook. His name is David Mills. That's who he is. He got on the group on Facebook and said basically, hey guys, my wife owns a needlework shop, and we can supply everything that you need, including whatever you need for your pandemic sampler. And then he proceeded to show the most beautiful, mouth-watering pictures of this shop that I've ever seen. I knew then that I needed to place an order from them, and it's called Hobby House Needleworks, and they are in Pittsford, New York. And here is their card. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I totally recommend them. Again, impeccable customer service. The way my package is packaged is awesome. I ordered, yep, interrupted again, but it's okay. So I did order floss from Hobby House Needleworks. And I also ordered some 32 count, what? Silver Moon Lugana. Oh my gosh, guys, what is wrong with me? I've never stitched on this before, but you may know that I have recently fallen in love with Lugana. So I thought, why not? Let me give it a try. 32 count Lugana. And here it is. Oh my gosh, guys. I am so in love with this fabric. I'm in love with this fabric. And as I said, it's called Silver Moon. And I just want to hold it up to some white paper so you can actually see that the difference between the white and the silver moon. And this is a trick I learned from Stacy over at 911 Stitcher. Thank you, Stacy. So it is gorgeous, guys. So what I got was, I got a fat half. A lot of you may be familiar with fat quarter fabric, and so this is a fat half yard. And I am considering using this fabric for my pandemic chart, except that if I do use it, it's gonna come up just a little short as far as the size of the fabric. And so that frightens me, because you know, I don't want to do all the stitching, and then I pretty much have it all figured out how I can use this piece of fabric. But I have also have an order out with Fat Quarter Shop, whom, again, if you guys have followed me for a while, I absolutely adore Fat Quarter Shop. Fat Quarter Shop is definitely having some issues with shipping, and so I've been waiting for my fabric for quite some time from them. They have been in touch, but I really just want to wait until I get that fabric before I make my absolute final, my fifth final decision on how I'm going to be stitching pandemic. But I just want to show you the floss up against this beautiful fabric. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, I can't wait to get started. This is gonna work out so well. And as I pointed out earlier, I did take the suggestion of a viewer, and I added this color to the palette. This is DMC number 35, and I'm going to be trying to concentrate on using this color for at least some of the critters and birds. I haven't quite laid it out yet, and so I think that's going to probably give it the pop that it needs. But again, I do want to wait until I get the wheat fabric in from Fat Quarter Shop before I actually make my last and final decision on how I'm going to stitch this. But I won't be getting started right away anyway, because I need to finish a whip before I start a new project. So there's all of that. Now, I wanted to show you one more time the Better to See You With chart that I showed you last time, that I got from the Cross Stitch Studio. And it's because Betsy of the Cross Stitch Studio, who does the charting of these beautiful, beautiful charts, actually reached out to me, guys. She reached out to thank me for mentioning her on my YouTube channel, and I could not be happier. I asked if there was anything else that she wanted me to let you guys know, and the main thing is that you should definitely go over and take a look. Of course, I'm going to leave a link below. And she wanted you to know that they have some smaller charts. So, you know, you don't have to think that all of the charts that she provides are as huge and daunting and overwhelming as the one that I chose. She congratulated me on choosing one of the biggest charts. I had no idea. To use as my very first full coverage chart. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys because I was so excited when I got the message from her. Now, I want to go ahead now and announce the giveaway winner for the Trimming the Tree chart by Michelle at Bendy Stitchy Designs. And here it is again. And I am going to insert the winner here. Congratulations, Christy. You have won a PDF of this chart of Trimming the Tree. And all you need to do to get your prize is to shoot me an email and let me know what the best email is for me to send the chart over to you. Congratulations. And again, thank you everyone who participated and wanted to have a go at trimming the tree. So I'm going to remind you again, however, guys, when you're entering a giveaway on YouTube, it is important that you have your subscription set to public, because if we can't see, we're trying to give back to people who are subscribed to us, who are supporting us. And if we cannot see that you are subscribed, sometimes you're just not going to be able to win the prize. Now, I'm going to leave you today, after all of that rambling, with words of inspiration for you to take with you for this week. And they are, be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can. Have a great weekend, guys, and I can't wait to see you next time. Most of all, at this time, remember love.